Hey Blender people, I just want to show off this thing that I made this week while I was sick, the Astro Track. Yeah, it's going to be used by this character in the project that I'm filming where this character from the 80s tracks near Earth potentially dangerous asteroids. And this is the interface or the software that they use to like go and investigate the orbits of different asteroids and stuff. I wanted the character to be able to interact with this program while we're filming because it's going to be like on an old CRT TV, and getting the right texture was pretty crucial to me. Obviously, since we're filming a character use the program on the screen in real time, it all has to be real time. It all has to look good in real time, and that's kind of the coolest thing about this interface is that it's using a lot of the real time features that only came out relatively recently in Blender. Like Geometry Node has been out for a while, but the viewport compositor is like a 3.5 release, I think. And this is using a few of the texture coordinate node or the texture nodes in the compositor, which are only a 3.6 alpha thing. So yeah, let me show you around a little bit. It is, it's all in 3D, obviously, because it's all in Blender. So you can the character will just be orbiting around. They can go in and investigate things if they want. Yeah, and they can just go in and investigate, and all these lines are the different asteroids, and it shows like where they're orbiting. Since all these orbits are procedurally generated, I know like the further out ones won't be as fast as they are, but I'm just hoping people don't really pay attention. It's flashy, blinky lights, and that's kind of what's cool about it. And yeah, if I unlock the camera from the view, I can kind of show you what's going on here. Is we have the camera up here, and with geometry nodes, the whole, where is it? There it is. The whole interface is just kind of like parented with geometry nodes outward a little bit and just follows the camera wherever it goes. And like these lines from the other lines to the orbits just actually follow it in 3D space like spaghetti. So yeah, let me just kind of show you some of the parameters I got going on here. So yeah, the first one we got going on is the grid here. Sometimes it's nice to just know the astronomical units of the asteroids that you're tracking. So yeah, you can turn that one on or off. And it also is kind of nice if you're looking at it from the side to just kind of see what the plane of the orbits are, which I guess while we're at it, we can fully adjust the orbit angle of these things. They can be super angled, super off kilter from the sun, or super not. And yeah, you can, again, if you're just investigating this, you can see the 3D nature of the whole system, which is kind of nice. But yeah, getting back to order of things. Obviously, you can change the number of asteroids, so we can bring them down and just have one orbiting the star if we're like, oh, this is the important one that we're really needing to get to, or yeah, have a bunch. Right now, I just have the number or the labels going up to 6, and then after that. Oh, those should be turned off, but they're not. Whatever, I'll deal with that after. But what's really cool, like one of the things I really like about this, you can just like track like all the tracked asteroids around this star, and you can go in really close, and it just kind of looks like a bit more of a volume. Yeah, you can just like really see. I think I need to change some of the parameters because all these seem to be going in one direction, but yeah. I think that's really cool. Another thing we can do, which we will use the grid for, is change the scale of the asteroid, so how close or far they orbit. Sometimes you want all of them within the grid, and that just kind of is an easy way of doing that. Orbit eccentricity, so you know sometimes like you'll see comets that are like way far out from the star, and they just go like way out. So we just kind of have that going on here too, and then we'll probably have to scale them down quite a bit to make them fit within our little solar system. I showed you the orbit angle already, the seed. This is kind of cool because if I wanted to, I could just like also change the name of the star that we are investigating the asteroids of or the planets of, like with the name with the change of this integer. Just like just pick a different like string of numbers and letters for which star. Yeah, and all these things just like interact with it and keep following it. So yeah, I'm not going to go through the entire node group, but I do want to show you guys a couple of things that I have going on here. So we're going to start in the real-time compositor, or in the normal compositor, I guess. So yeah, this whole like feeling that I got going on here, as you can see, like if I have this disabled, it's pretty boring, and this is all we were really able to do before. So yeah, the main things I got going on here are, we got glare, which is like super low. As you can see, it does almost nothing, but that's okay because I'm going to multiply it by like 30, so it's like super, super bright now. Okay, and then I have this scanlines group over here, which I'm gonna unmute all 3 of these at once, because I found that if I don't do that, then it just like looks super pixelated, which I want to keep too in case I want to use that. It's like a really cool like anti-aliased, I guess aliased look, but it's probably harder to see on YouTube. So yeah, we're gonna go in scanlines. Yeah, this is what Blender 3.6 Alpha is using, the texture nodes in the compositor. So yeah, you just go to texture, and I made a gradient texture, which is just a blend one, and then you go over here and you add a texture node, and then you just pick your texture. Yeah, and then that I just have going in for the horizontal x-axis scan lines. I just have it going into a ping pong, which just kind of like from 0 to 1, it kind of goes like up and then back down, kind of in like a nice sine wave type of thing. In the 0 to 1s, and it's just multiplied by this group input over here, which is the resolution for those. So if we go back in here, the same texture is being transformed 90 degrees for the horizontal lines, and I also scale it a bit just because if you don't, you can see it doesn't really fit on the screen. But yeah, and then that is also going to a ping pong, which I also have going into a group input, changing the resolution of that one. And then we are multiplying, or we are mixing those, and they look like that. And then we are multiplying them to make them brighter. We're making them brighter again in contrast here with that one. And then we are multiplying that by the main image. So yeah, if you take it out, that's the main image, the glowed one, and then multiplying on top the scan lines that we did, we get that. And it looks kind of cool. And that's just going into this like really fast, cheap noise that I made, which you might not be able to see. Let me know if you can see this. It probably just looks a tiny bit brighter to you, but it makes a big difference. And if I press play, it animates just like real noise would if you put like a noise, I don't know, put it on your DaVinci Resolve video, add noise, add film grain. That's, I guess, it's film grain. That's what I meant. So yeah, again, if we go into there, tab into there, we are just using another texture node. We are just using this noises. No, that's a Musgrave one. This one that I made is just a noise texture. And that's going to RGB curve, so just kind of like make it a little bit less. There's still a little bit of bugginess with this. I've found it does kind of sometimes do these stripes. Oh, it's with an alpha node. That's weird. And we're just kind of like adding that to our image a little bit. And then to make it animate, we're using the hashtag frame driver trick on the offset. And so we're just moving the UV map for that texture like 1 unit over every single frame, so we always have brand new noise, which is kind of fun. Yeah, it's just a super easy way of putting film grain on your footage, and real time. That's kind of important. It's kind of cool. So yeah, I guess next we'll hop into geometry nodes. Like I said, I'm not going to show you this whole group because I honestly don't. I kind of made a lot of it in like the blur of having a flu and don't know how it really happened. Yeah, I kind of want to show you this interface text. So yeah, we have the camera and we have the geo nodes group. So we took the camera and dropped it into our scene. And then we use the location and rotation data to transform our text. Like that's basically it. It's like actually pretty simple. And then yeah, this is all my text here, and turn it on and off with M. And yeah, I just have that all joined. And then these are all offset minus 4.8 meters off away from the camera. And that's just kind of how I place them where I want them to go. Yeah, the especially hard one to figure out at first was the this gizmo over here, which I know a lot of you are probably familiar with a version of that. But yeah, I wanted it to follow the location rotation data of the camera in terms of position, but I don't want to rotate with the camera. I want to stay aligned with world space. So yeah, the way I did that is I got a mesh line, which I did the same text trick with. So I had like the one end at the camera and then another end 4.8 meters away from the camera, and that was rotating everywhere. And then I just instanced on that second point the little gizmo thing, which is just a cube extruded And that's it. The next thing, I guess, is the random orbit generator. It just like makes all these like slightly off-kilter circles around a point. So yeah, what I did there is I made this mesh line that has it doesn't go anywhere. It's just like a single point, and I can add as many counts as I want to it. There's probably a janky way of doing it now that I think about it. And then I have a curved circle with a resolution of 256 going into there. And then for the rotation and scale, I think I just have like a bunch of random numbers, like random number generators going in there. Yeah, the last kind of cool thing, I guess, is I found if I had more than one sample, every time I moved this, it would kind of change, and then it would do its thing where it gives it more samples and it looks different. So yeah, I found if I just keep this down to 1, that probably has something to do with me like absolutely deep frying the compositing, having all these values like in the compositor go up by like 60, but whatever. But yeah, if I kept it at 1, then it wouldn't change. It would just look normal every single time. I think if you have this at 0, then it automatically does like 16 or 64 samples because it does do that updating thing. So yeah, just keep it all the way. Keep it at 1, and then obviously viewport denoising. It looks like it doesn't do anything if you only have 1 sample, but just keep it off just in case. So yeah, that's a little bit of a misadventure through my latest 80s gen software, real-time software that a character is going to be using, hopefully in a filming thing. Yeah, I'm really proud of it because it's one of the first big things in geometry nodes I made without looking anything up, and there's a lot of really cool ideas. Like I didn't really get into, because I don't remember how, these underlines and how I got those to work, and how I like identified the final position of those to like connect the 2 orbits. I guess if you want to see that, just let me know. I'll try and refigure that out, and I can record another video with that. Yeah, and it's not like there's anything wrong with like looking things up if you're just learning geometry nodes. I have done that for like 3 years. It's just kind of a nice marker to myself that I'm actually like learning these things and mastering them in my own way. And yeah, I'm sure it is like an actual, like my math and the way I do things is actually janky as hell, but it works, and I'm proud of that. So yeah, I just wanted to show the internet. Okay, I think that's it. I'm gonna drink tea. Bye. I forgot to show you this other one that I made, which is pretty cool. I just didn't show it because it took me like 20 minutes. But yeah, these having these curvy lines is and the satellite orbit tracker. This one's for tracking satellites, not for asteroids. I guess it could be asteroids too that are orbiting Earth, but boop, yeah, it pops over there. Same thing. It just keeps on popping. Just keeps on popping. Keeps on orbiting. That's it. That's everything. This video is gonna be so long. Sorry. Ugh. I don't know how I did this.